Hey everyone, Mario again, coming at you with another episode of First Impressions. As you can tell from the title up there, it is a Steven Universe First Impressions video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, about 9-ish months, give or take. And that's because ever since last, I think it was Memorial Day weekend, Steven Universe had kind of been in a slump when it comes to new episodes. And I'd heard a lot of things online, like mainly Cartoon Network being idiots and not releasing the videos properly. Then, about the beginning of this year, they started releasing new episodes. I caught a couple of them, some online, some on the old TV. I didn't see them in order, I saw them randomly, and I think the story is going in the right direction. Like a couple things to mention: Sadie coping with Lars no longer being there, her forming a band with Steven and basically quitting the donut shop. Nice little character moment for her. That comes up in this episode, that's why I bring that up specifically. And Lapis hearing about the Diamond trial and basically leaving, and Peridot having to decide whether she's going to go with Lapis or stay. And she makes the hard decision to stay, and they're still friends, it seems, but it seems like Lapis, she seems to be a little hurt, but is probably keeping it inside. Now, another little character arc that went through a couple of the episodes is Connie and Steven had a little tiff going on. Connie was hurt by Steven deciding to give himself up instead of fusing with her to fight Stevonnie. We all know Steven's reason for it. Even though it didn't turn out the way he wanted, he still managed to save Earth, at least for the foreseeable future. Now, Connie was still hurt, so she took Lion and ran. She didn't answer any of his texts, and in an episode that takes place at one of the parties, they finally reconcile and they're best friends again after having a good long talk, which leads to this episode where they decide to go through Lion and go visit Lars and take him some goodies. And they find Lars. He's still with the off-color gems, but they're in a place you would least expect. They're in a freaking starship out in the middle of space, being chased by a gem called Emerald, who has her gem as an eye patch. This is the last thing you would expect. A freaking starship. But it really adds to the scene when they come out of Lars's head. And just seeing that whole chase sequence. And it's nice to see the gems actually got off world, because after that episode I was wondering, Lars is still on homeworld, what's going to happen now? Well, he's been doing well. He's essentially the leader of the off-color gems now. And they are causing some chaos, because they got off a homeworld, they've been going from place to place, it seems, and they stole Emerald's ship, her personal ship, hence why she's chasing them. Now, they give Lars the box, and he's all excited, but then when he finds out about Sadie, he has a little emotional moment where he's like, oh no, she's trying to get back at me. And naturally, Steven and Connie have to snap him out of it, because while he's going through this, he's not doing his captaining duties, which are causing the off-color gems to panic a little bit, because, like, we only do what Captain Lars tells us. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do? Steven and Connie snap Lars out of this in the only way they know how, with a speech, and they fuse into Stevonnie. So nice to see Stevonnie again. And Stevonnie does help them by piloting a ship, which leads to her predicament in the second half of this episode, where she is stranded on a planet that has been terraformed, there's breathable air, and she has to survive. Like, she cuts an alien in half and eats half of it in self-defense. She eats some fruit, and there's a very funny scene where Stevonnie's debating whether or not she is gonna eat this small little bird creature. It's so funny because she's arguing with herself. It's like, it's so cute, but we need the protein. So it's the Connie and Steven sides of Stevonnie going back and forth. Of course, Mama shows up, and Stevonnie has to deal with Mama twice. Once when she gets chased into a building, and once in the end where she has to battle her, which is a pretty good scene. Now, the meat of this episode is the dream sequence, because the Diamond Dreams are back, and we get a little revelation about Pink Diamond. This is the scene I saw before I saw the episode, because it leaked before the episode played on TV. But then just watching this scene, I like the way it was shown, to where you know who the characters are representing, but it's characters they're stand-ins essentially. Stevonnie is a stand-in for Pink Diamond, and Connie's mother is a stand-in for Yellow Diamond. And as the sequence goes on, the background changes from a giant version of a living room into what the room Stevonnie was in would have looked like when the Diamonds were there running the show. And slowly, Connie's mother turns into Yellow Diamond, including the head thing. And just the way this scene played out, it's like you could see the relationship that Pink and Yellow had. We know that Yellow missed her, but from this we could say, is that theory I have about Yellow being the one that got rid of Pink a little bit more valid with this? Or is it showing that Yellow really does wish she hadn't been as hard on Pink when she was alive? Or, you know, did more stuff with her? It's one of those little things, like, we gotta wait for more to be revealed. Just a little argument they got into where Pink says, I want a colony, I want it all. I'm as important as you, I'm a diamond too. And Yellow just yelling back at her, then act like one! And Pink just storms off, and then when we finally see a little bit of what she looks like, she punches the mirror, and that's when we see that Stevonnie is the stand-in for Pink, and that's where the sequence ends. Now, I want to know if I'm alone in this, but didn't some of the back and forth of this scene kind of remind you of that one Family Guy joke where it's Peter talking with Hitler? Adolf, Peter, can't you see I'm busy doing stuff? Yes, Peter, Nazi stuff. I wonder if I'm alone in that, because I got a little bit of that vibe. Not the same kind of material, but just the way it was going in the back and forth until Pink did her little hissy fit. So the two big highlights of this two-parter are we get to see what Lars has been doing and the revelation about Pink, which, like I said, it makes you wonder a little bit more about the theories about who actually shattered Pink. And if Pink did get shattered the way that it's been played out that she got shattered, maybe not the way that the Diamonds are saying, but in a similar manner, maybe like one of her people turned on her and framed Rose Quartz to, you know, yeah, there's gonna be a false flag. We're gonna get everyone really hating the rebels now. You could see why Pink, well, what happened to Pink. She seems to be someone who is a little overzealous, a little overconfident, and a little out of her element with something like this, not ready for it. But she thinks she's ready, and seems she paid the price for it. Overall, fun two-parter episode. I really am waiting for the next episodes. I can't wait for more episodes to come out. I know that they're only releasing them in small batches, which is nice, because then you don't get overload, but then it's like, oh, we want more. Like in the words of Beavis, more, ah! And I know this is a couple weeks after the fact. It's been about a month since this two-parter dropped, but only got around to it now, you know, life and all. So thank you all for watching. You guys enjoy the video, you always subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. You know, got some social media channels down below I'm going to plug, mostly on Instagram and Facebook, but I am getting a little bit more active on Twitter, mainly through sharing stuff and the occasional random post. But I am there, and it's alive. So, later.